What if I told you that some of Hollywood's biggest legends weren't just playing tough guys on screen? They actually were genuine war heroes who survived machine gun fire, enemy shrapnel, and deadly beach invasions during World War II. Today, you're about to discover the incredible true stories of 5 actors who went from real battlefields to Hollywood sets. These men didn't just portray courage, they lived it. From the blood-soaked beaches of Normandy to the entertainment capitals of the world, their journeys reveal how genuine military heroism shaped some of the most authentic performances in cinema history. James Doohan, Scotty's hidden D-Day nightmare. Long before James Doohan was beaming anyone up on Star Trek, he was bleeding on the beaches of Normandy. At just 24 years old, Lieutenant Doohan landed at Juno Beach on D-Day as part of the 13th Field Regiment of the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division. What happened next sounds like something from a war movie, except it was horrifyingly real. After successfully leading his men across a minefield, mines that could have blown them to pieces at any moment, Doohan thought the worst was behind them. He was wrong. On the night of June 6, 1944, while moving between command posts after finishing a cigarette, disaster struck. 6 bullets tore through his body from a machine gun. 4 shattered his leg, 1 blasted through his middle finger, and 1 slammed into his chest. Here's the shocking part. The bullets didn't come from German soldiers. A nervous Canadian sentry had mistaken Doohan for the enemy and opened fire on his own officer. The only reason Doohan survived was a silver cigarette case his brother had given him as a good luck charm. The bullet to his chest hit the case and was deflected. Doohan later joked it was the only time smoking saved his life. Throughout his Star Trek career, Doohan carefully hid his missing finger from cameras, though eagle-eyed fans occasionally spotted it. The man who would become famous for his Scottish accent actually learned it from Aberdeen soldiers he befriended during his recovery in England. His war experience gave Scotty an authenticity that no acting school could teach. Cesar Romero, from Pacific Combat to the Joker's lair. Before Cesar Romero terrorized Gotham City as the Joker in the 1960s Batman series, he was operating massive deck cranes under enemy fire in the Pacific Theater. In 1942, at the height of his Hollywood career, Romero shocked the entertainment industry by voluntarily enlisting in the Coast Guard as an apprentice seaman. His decision made national headlines. Here was a major star giving up a lucrative career to serve his country. Romero served aboard the USS Cavalier, where his job was anything but glamorous. As a boatswain's mate, he operated 18,000-pound deck cranes, swinging massive landing craft over the side during amphibious assaults. He also served as the first powderman on the ship's forward 5-inch gun. When the Cavalier participated in the Allied invasions of Tinian and Saipan in 1944, Romero was right in the thick of the action, loading troops and supplies while under enemy bombardment. What made Romero special wasn't just his willingness to serve, it was his refusal to accept special treatment. Despite being a Hollywood star, he insisted on being treated like any other sailor. His shipmates respected him so much, they considered him one of the best winch operators they'd ever worked with. During downtime, Romero would entertain the crew with impromptu variety shows, bringing a touch of Hollywood magic to the brutal Pacific War. By war's end, Romero had been promoted to chief boatswain's mate. When he returned to Hollywood, he brought with him a quiet confidence and authenticity that would serve him well. Interestingly, when he played the Joker, Romero refused to shave his signature mustache, forcing makeup artists to paint over it with white face paint. You can still see hints of it in close-ups, a small reminder of the war veteran beneath the villain's facade. Martha Raye, the entertainer who became a combat nurse. Martha Raye's story is unlike any other in Hollywood history. Known for her enormous smile and comedic talent, Raye spent more time in combat zones than many soldiers. Starting in 1942, she joined USO tours to entertain troops, but she took it far beyond simple performances. Between shows, Raye worked as a nurse's aide in field hospitals, cleaning wounds, donating blood, and preparing soldiers for surgery. During her first overseas tour to England and North Africa, Raye stayed long after her fellow entertainers returned home. She continued working until yellow fever and anemia forced her evacuation in March 1943. But that was just the beginning. Once recovered, she returned to the Pacific Theater and spent years entertaining troops in the most dangerous locations. Her most remarkable service came during the Vietnam War. From 1965 to 1972, she spent an average of 4 months each year in Vietnam, often venturing alone to isolated special forces camps and frontline outposts. She wore combat boots and standard fatigues, hitching rides in helicopters and jeeps to reach soldiers who never saw other entertainers. While there, she functioned as a field nurse, working alongside medical personnel under fire. Her dedication earned her honorary military ranks, lieutenant colonel in the Army and colonel in the Marines, leading troops to call her Colonel Maggie. She received the Presidential Freedom Award in 1993, and when she died in 1994, she was given the extraordinary honor of burial in the military cemetery at Fort Bragg, the first civilian woman ever granted this privilege. She was laid to rest among her boys, as she called them. David Niven, the commando who charmed Hollywood. David Niven was already an established Hollywood star when Britain declared war on Germany in 1939, but unlike other British actors in Hollywood, he immediately returned home to serve. The British Embassy advised actors to stay, but Niven was the only one who ignored this guidance. He rejoined the British Army and was recommissioned as a lieutenant in the Rifle Brigade.
Niven's service was far more dangerous than most people realized. He joined the elite commandos and was assigned to train at Inverell House in the Scottish Highlands. Later, he commanded A Squadron of the GHQ Liaison Regiment, known by the codename Phantom. This was a highly secret reconnaissance unit that operated behind enemy lines, gathering intelligence and maintaining communications between scattered Allied forces. During D-Day, Niven landed in Normandy several days after the initial assault and participated in the push through Nazi-occupied Europe. His Phantom unit played a crucial role in major operations, including the disastrous Battle of Arnhem during Operation Market Garden, where they provided the only communication link between trapped British paratroopers and relief forces attempting to reach them. Niven's military bearing and officer and gentleman demeanor, developed at Sandhurst and refined in combat, became his trademark in Hollywood. He was promoted to lieutenant colonel and awarded the American Legion of Merit. After the war, when asked about his combat experiences, Niven would typically deflect with humor. Once, when stopped by nervous American sentries during the Battle of the Bulge, who asked him questions only a true American would know, he replied, "Haven't the foggiest idea, but I did co-star with Ginger Rogers in Bachelor Mother." The guards recognized him and let him pass. James Arness, Marshal Dillon's real gunfight. Before James Arness became television's most famous marshal, he was a 20-year-old private fighting for his life on one of World War II's bloodiest beaches. At 6 feet 7 inches tall, Arness originally wanted to be a Navy fighter pilot, but his height disqualified him. The Army, however, had no problem with his size. In fact, they used it to their deadly advantage. On January 22, 1944, Arness landed at Anzio Beach with the 3rd Infantry Division's 7th Infantry Regiment. Because of his towering height, commanders ordered him first off the landing craft to determine the water depth for other soldiers. He waded into waist-high water while enemy fire erupted around him. Remarkably, the initial landing went smoothly, with Allied forces securing the beachhead. 10 days later, everything went wrong. During a nighttime patrol through a vineyard on February 1, 1944, Arness was walking 20 feet ahead of his squad when they stumbled directly into a German machine gun position. The enemy opened fire immediately. Bullets shattered the bone in Arness's right leg, and concussion grenades exploded nearby, lifting him off the ground. He lay wounded for hours before medics could reach him. The injury was so severe that doctors initially considered amputation. Arness spent 18 months in military hospitals and nearly lost his leg to infection before the new wonder drug penicillin saved him. He was honorably discharged with a Bronze Star and Purple Heart, but the leg injury plagued him for the rest of his life. During his 20-year run as Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke, Mounting horses often caused him excruciating pain, though he never let it show on camera. His authentic portrayal of a tough Western lawman came naturally. Arness had already faced real gunfights and survived genuine combat. The discipline and courage he learned on the battlefields of Italy translated perfectly to the dusty streets of Dodge City. These five represent something increasingly rare in Hollywood: performers whose on-screen toughness was grounded in real-world experience. They didn't need to method act their way into courage. They had already proven it under the most extreme circumstances imaginable. Their military service gave them an authenticity that no acting coach could provide, and a perspective that shaped their entire careers.